kitchen for those of you that missed stream yesterday because you were working. Hope you had a good week. Not too difficult. Kimmers and Bonk, thanks for being first as always. We got Michael, right on time. Bob, hello. Yet it is. Yeah, may the 4th be with you guys. Woohoo! Star Wars. Hi, Mish. Good to see you today. Same with Cookie. I'm liking our chats about watching Followed. I'm really excited to watch it with Sam. And Annie. Hi, Annie. Hi, Gearbox Man. Welcome, welcome, guys. I hope you're all A-okay. Had a pretty good morning. Was up early. It was super nice outside today, so I went for a walk at like 8 in the morning, and I didn't see anyone. Sorry, I saw one guy in his garden, and it made me really happy. And that was about it. It was just me, the birds, and the kitties. But no kitties were ready to give pets or anything, and that's okay too. It was pretty early. Honestly, I'm done with the snow, Annie, that we still had last week. So we are definitely soaking in this like summer weather. It's gonna be a good day. And yeah, after stream, I am going to pick up my best friend Julia, and we're gonna go on a little adventure. I made this like goal for myself that once a month I will hang out with my friend, and we will kind of play like tourists in our own city because we were both born here, but then we both like moved away when we were in our like 20s, let's say after high school. She went out east and I went out west, but now we are here together. So there's a lot of stuff that's changed in the city, and we're gonna go check out this place. It's called Manchester Square. If you guys want to look it up, just search Manchester Square, Edmonton. And there's some cool places. The one place that I want to go look at is, I don't know if you've ever seen a store, if I say it's like a refill store where you can bring your own jars and stuff like that, and they just kind of have things in bulk that you can fill up by weight. Yeah, they have all sorts of like organic skincare and different like household goods that I thought was really cool. So I want to switch away from like always using the not so good cleaners for us and go to more of a natural sort of thing. Corner gas. Good one, Annie. every Canadian thing's just corner gas to you guys. I love it. Hi, Blondie. How are you doing? You guys have another storm? Oh, we're supposed to get rocked. Like, yeah, starting, I think even tomorrow. It's like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're getting over 30 millimeters of rain. So that's why we're going out today, getting that done for the month. Hope you guys have something fun planned for this weekend too. So this stream, let's just start off, is dedicated to Fortitude 2. She requested this meal today with her 50,000 pots and pans points. And it is a South African dish that we've actually made before on stream. I think we made it before for someone else's recipe redemption, but this was years back. Like we were still living in BC when we made it last time, I remember. So we're gonna make it again. That's the one recipe that I have posted. And then for our dessert today, I'm so excited. We're gonna make our sourdough cinnamon rolls. So the dough took quite a while to proof and double up after stream yesterday. What time did we mix it around? I think around like 3 p.m. And yeah, I didn't put it in the fridge until like 2 in the morning when I went up, when I got up to go to the bathroom. It was finally doubled. But she's out of the fridge now and warming up, so we'll be able to roll with it first thing. Because the one thing when you work with sourdough is there's no extra yeast in there to help it rise quicker. So it is a very long process. And even today, like after we roll out the buns and get them into the pan, it's gonna be like probably around 3 hours, and then we'll bake it right at the end of stream. That's crazy. I hate waiting for this stuff, but honestly it tastes so good, so it is worth it. You're getting close, Annie. Good job. And so I didn't link the recipe for the cinnamon rolls today because it was one that I found on Instagram. So it's in our Discord channel. I just typed it out and posted the photo from it. if you want to look it up and make it for yourself. And we will be grinding a tri-tip today for our ground beef because I had that in the freezer, and then I'll just have extra ground beef, and I really feel like a refeed day, so I'm gonna make a bunless burger for myself for dinner later. I need a cheeseburger. Also, the birds were singing cheeseburger this morning. If you ever hear the chickadees, they say cheeseburgers in the morning. So I was like, yep, that's happening. Hello, benevolent elephant. I like your username. Welcome in. Yeah, the flavor contrast between the sourdough, sweet glazing. Good job, Blondie. Randy Bobandy? Is that you? I love it. It made me so happy though. We're getting started already. I love it. Thank you very much, Annie. Okay, I'm gonna take the dough out because that's what we're gonna start with. Nice, it puffed up a little bit. That means it's warmed. We got a dome. Everything is right in the world now. Okay, let's welcome in our 4 gift subs from Annie. Thank you very much. Building up our kitchen crew. We got Hector HSC, Player Hater 2007, Hughes Levis. I hope I said that right. And Ohana Kruger. We know 2 of those names, but 2 other ones are new. You always say chickadee. Well, they have like a couple different calls that they do, right? But every time I walk by this one house, it's always saying cheeseburgers. It's not fair. Okay, I'm gonna make up a little list for us just because we are grinding beef, and then we'll get into this. All right, first thing is gonna be our cinnamon rolls. And I couldn't remember the last time I had a cinnamon bun. So I was saying yesterday, even when I was a baker up at work, I had my wheat allergy then, so I wasn't eating anything that I was baking. So I honestly cannot recall the last time I had a proper cinnamon roll. I'm very excited for this. You're still working on your pho. It's such good leftovers though. Nelson the bully, yeah. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna roll this out. That's how she looks this morning. We're gonna roll it. And then we're gonna fill it with butter, sugar, cinnamon mixture. And then we're gonna roll it all the way up and cut the rolls. And then we'll put them in the pan. And yeah, it said 3 to 4 hours. I'm gonna go with 3 hours because we'll make a little proofing chamber in the oven while we're working along today. And then the nice thing is these only have to bake for 20 minutes. Let me just check the temp on that one. Gotta go into Discord. Scroll it up. Okay, 400 Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. And then obviously while they're baking, you can whip up the cream cheese icing really quick. One of your students' uncles runs a restaurant. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's the cinnamon roll plan for our Bobotie. And as much as this dish sounds weird, you guys, it was actually really delicious from what I remember. I'm not gonna make a ton of it just because I had a lot of pork left over from yesterday, but we will grind our beef so we know how to prepare our meat grinder and then chill our beef properly. We'll get our onion and aromatics ready in that time while the meat is chilling. Oh, it has rice and a custard with it. And then there's also like chutney as well as apricot jam in here and tomato paste. It's really interesting Hello, Green Box Box. That's Sam's mom, everyone. Okay, that's all I got. Let's get into this. I washed up the big board that we used yesterday, and now we have to use it again for our massive pork loin that we got into. Also, this is a little bit whole wheat, right? Because my starter has whole wheat when I feed it. And I think that's really important for digestion too. Just get our big cutting board, and we'll need a bit of flour. I don't like to use too much flour when you're making cinnamon rolls because you need it to stick together, right? You don't want it too dry on the inside. You guys doing any cooking today? Or are you just hanging out? This feels pretty firm still. That's okay though. It smells good. And then this dough that we made yesterday, it has both eggs and butter in it. So it's almost like a rich brioche dough. I think it's gonna be amazing. Look how clean it comes out of the bowl. All the butter. You're going to a potluck? Fun. What are you bringing? Because that's always important, right? Okay, so it is a bit sticky. Just need a little bit of flour to help us roll it out. Otherwise, it's not gonna budge. And then, yeah, we'll just melt some butter and mix it with some brown sugar and cinnamon. Steak, baked potatoes, some baby arugula. That sounds good, Cookie. Nice and simple. Boom. Flip it over. Let's start with that. We can always use more. Favorite Mexican restaurant to grab some salsa and chips? They just want you to bring that. Well, that's heckin' easy. How good this looks, guys. Those gluten strands. Okay, let's see how this is when I put it down. Is it gonna move around enough? I think it's gonna move around enough. And we'll just tap a little bit on top so our rolling pin doesn't stick. How large do we roll this? Okay, the instructions kind of suck. It just says roll it into a rectangle. I'm gonna say roll it to about a 1/3 inch thick. Should be good. Don't go too thin because then you're not gonna really have dough that's gonna puff up if you like the really fluffy cinnamon rolls. No, that's awesome. You don't even have to cook for the potluck. And then while we're rolling this, it is important to keep the edges as square as possible. So just kind of arrange it as you go along. This looks amazing, you guys. What the heck? I'm gonna go this way. So if you go wider rolling this way, you're gonna have more layers, right? If you go longer this way, you're just gonna have more cinnamon rolls. So up to you what you want. I like when there's lots of layers though. There was this one Jewish bakery in Vancouver that we would sometimes go to for a little treat, and they made the best cinnamon buns. Like, we tried to count the layers one time, and I think there was around 30 layers. Like, I'm not making this up. It was insane. And you could see them making them behind the window too. Solly's Bakery, man. I hope it's still open. Okay, just a little bit larger. I guess I was kind of not centered for you guys. You have Zoom interviews with prospective science teaching candidates. Wait, you're doing the interviews for the school, Annie? We need more light. We need more light still. There. You're the science department chair? I didn't know that. Good job. Ah. Okay, it seems a little bit sticky in the middle. It should be okay though when we roll it out. That looks good, guys. Let's stop there. Okay, I'm just gonna take this out for a sec so that we can do our butter and sugar. Yeah, the teaching curator. I like it. Bonk you and your crotch pot meals. Tex-Mex chili chipotle flavor. Yes, please. Potlucks are so dang fun. I remember when we would host one once a month when we were in Vancouver with everyone that worked at the brewery with us. Whoever could come, right? Okay, we need for the filling. That doesn't seem like nearly enough. 2 tablespoons of butter? This is impossible. There's no way that 2 tablespoons of butter is gonna be enough for that. But there is half a cup. She uses coconut sugar, I'm just gonna use brown sugar. I'm gonna do like equal parts butter and sugar. What do you guys think of this? Or close to it? And then just a little bit of cinnamon in there. Just do it in this small bowl. I don't think more butter's gonna hurt, but 2 tablespoons? I don't even know how we'd be able to spread that out. I've always just kind of eyeballed the filling. Butter. We need more butter. Okay, that's like a third a cup, I would say. All of it. No, this should be good once we get the sugar mixed in. We can always add more if we feel like it's a bit dry. Yay! Fudge it up, right? Double it up. Thanks, Annie. 231 bitlies. You weren't around yesterday when I was saying the first thing that we're sewing is gonna be a blanket for Sam to use while he's up at work. Let's get this. You don't have to melt it all, but it is easier to spread it around if it's pretty melted. And then we'll mix our sugar in. Do 30 seconds to start. Got our cinnamon. Yeah, because the comforters up at camp, like they're not bad, but it's just like polyester with gross fiber fill. So I want to make them a nice cotton blanket. Similar to the one he likes here that I've made for myself. We always fight over it. Guys, we get to use my own homemade brown sugar. I wonder if it's really hard now. Let's find out. The butter's still a bit hard. Back in. Thank you, Mish and Annie. Always dangerous using the microwave. That's why I don't usually go more than 20 to 30 seconds at a time. Get a spoon. Guys, I made this by mixing white sugar with molasses. And it was so much fun, I will say that. I was like, so that's how easy it is. I had someone on when I posted it on YouTube. They're like, that's not how it's made. Brown sugar is just like caramelized. I can't get this lighting right today. I'm gonna fix this. One sec. I need to move my light down more. If I can move it. Success. Okay. But yeah, they're like, that it's just caramelized. And so I actually Googled it, right? And then I got the percentages. So light brown sugar, I think it said 3 to 4% molasses. And then dark brown sugar is 6 to 10% molasses in it. This is a 1/4 cup measure. So we need 1/2 cup. It's molasses-sized. That's why sometimes in the brown sugar, you'll find those little clumps of molasses. It makes sense, guys. Cinnamon. You need to find a use for the black strap. Yeah, I always only use fancy molasses. There's one kind of molasses that they say not to use for baking though. And then I always think like, what's the point of making it then? What do you use it for otherwise? 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Blackstrap is saltier. That might be the one then. Hi Scoots, it's good to see you. What are you up to, Scoots? That's so buttery and sugary, it's gonna be amazing. And I grew up with my Baba always putting raisins in her cinnamon buns, and she was phenomenal at making cinnamon buns. But I'm not really a raisin person, so I often will just leave them plain. Let's do that actually, a little sprinkle of salt. It's a little bit runny. Maybe we didn't need that much butter. Whatever. Better to have more than not enough. Actually, I can't put that there yet. No one likes a dry cinnamon bun. I can definitely tell you that. Oh yeah, Lily? They like to do that where you live? I think so too, right? I just melted it too much. Will the bowl crack though? No. It's not too warm. Okay, I'm doing the bonk suggestion. It won't even take long. Okay, so we will be putting the rolls. Hopefully it fills up the pan. If not, we'll just make sure that we place them close enough if there is excess room, because when you bake cinnamon buns, you kind of all want them to be touching each other. Otherwise, yeah, once again, when they bake, they kind of dry out a little bit. It's nice to be able to pull them apart. They just stay a bit softer. While we're waiting, I'll put this stuff away. And we'll grab the meat grinder. How about that? And get that set up. I love it too. This is gonna be the 3rd tri-tip that we are grinding on stream. And I will say it gives an amazing grind. I also am still shocked that we have tri-tip here. Because for like 10 years, we could never get tri-tip, and now that's like all there is. Get the metal parts. And it's one of the cheaper cuts as well. Don't tell anyone that, okay guys? Don't tell anyone that tri-tip's cheap, because then they'll start buying it and make it expensive. That's how it goes, right? What's the best fat to use with ground meat? Lard or tallow? Well, I guess it depends on what you're grinding, right? Because pork is lard, beef is tallow. Scooter says we're grinding elk steak into ground elk this weekend. And so yeah, anytime I've ever ground game meats, for example, when we were doing stuff for Zach and his family, we always just ground pork belly into like the venison and stuff like that. And that way there was still a little bit of meat, but really nice, like hard fat or lard. And I find pork belly is not a very strong porky flavor either. But as far as beef goes, if you're gonna grind beef, you usually choose a cut that has enough fat in it already. I mean, obviously sometimes that's not the case, and up to you. Tallow will be more beefy flavor, lard will be a little bit more nutty and light. It's working. I'm just stirring this mixture, but it's getting chunky. Okay, put that up there. I also vacuum sealed all of our pork from yesterday's stream that we had left over from that one loin. So we got 6 chops and 2 roasts plus what we used yesterday. What do you miss? Okay, how about once we get the meat all chopped up for the bobotie and we're waiting, why don't we go through the history of that dish, since that is something that a lot of people have probably never had in their life. It's working. So now this will be spreadable and it will cool once it hits this as well. Just watch the one edge where you're gonna roll it. I usually roll it away from myself. So don't put too much filling here, just so it can stick together. The interesting factoids. I think we still do that. A lot of times I'm just answering questions of what everyone else has off the top of my head. Okay, I'm gonna use something fancy just to make this easier, but you guys don't have to if you don't have it, but I'm gonna use a palette knife. You know how good this tastes right now? Make a piece of toast. Oof. Delicious. The palette knife also works really good when you're like decorating cakes and spreading icing and stuff. But see how it's built where you can just spread it quick. Also, now that we put the butter and sugar on here, I think that we made the right call of putting more butter. They're gonna be so good and ooey gooey. You have 3 sizes of these and you never use them for cake, Scoop? I only have this size, and I also have a plastic one. I don't know where I got that one from once upon a time. But I know I bought this one for culinary school for our little toolkit that we needed. Imagine if we only put 2 tablespoons of butter. This is like blowing my mind. Hi, Mickey. How are you? Yeah, the small ones I've seen, like, fancy chefs use the small ones, Scooter, when they're, like, plating meals and stuff. It always makes me laugh. Okay, is there a little bit? Just scrape it off. How's the peppers today, Mickey? Is he learning anything new? Like, what have you been teaching him? Working on stuff. Just finished chicken dinner. Yummo. Ready? So now we want to keep this pretty tight as we're rolling. And this is how I usually do it. Is like I kind of roll with this one and tighten it with this other hand. Give it a little press down. At work, I would make about 3 times this much and use up like the whole baking counter. It'd be super long. And it's really fun to cut after because you just go pop, 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 pop. And guys, I was just like browsing the job postings for the kitchen up where Sam works. They still haven't found anyone to replace me. I died laughing when I seen that. They're still looking for a baker. I was like, do I apply again? I don't know. Kind of tempting. Oh, see, it did stick a little bit here. Just use your bench scraper. The dough's not necessarily sticky. It just got a bit warm. Right. That's what I was thinking, Bonk. I was like, well, they still need someone. And then I noticed that they added a couple new specifications for the job or duties. Like the baker is now a supervisor. So maybe they did raise the hourly rate. I just don't know if I want to get roped back into that whole situation again. But maybe my mindset is different now, right? Being away. Plus, I freaking love it up there in the summer. Am I rolling a huge pancake? Of sorts. This will be the greatest pancake of your life, Amp. Also, it's good to see you. Yeah, there's a couple things that have changed, like management-wise, which have actually been really good. But it's just like, who am I gonna be working with now? That's the only thing I always think of. Okay, sounds good, Michael. Have a safe trip to work. I'm sure we'll still be here when you get there. Okay, so now that we're getting close to the end, see how I kind of pull it so that it's nice and even? Thanks, Ninja Man. I'm excited. I'm gonna bring some to my friend today, too. Give her like 4 of them because I need to share with her fiance as well. Holy. So now I'm just gonna turn this so it's easier for me to cut. I don't want to fool around with like pulling it at all. Also why I love to use like a baking board like this instead of going right on your work surface. Did I enjoy being an executive chef? I've never been an executive chef, and I've never wanted that responsibility in my life, actually, ever. I like to do like more of the cooking and like teaching and stuff like that, whereas executive chef is like a lot of like being on the computer and paperwork and dealing with stupid things, let's say. So yeah, I've never wanted to be an executive chef. I'm gonna cut these 1 inch thick so they're nice and tall. But I have been a sous chef before, and that is really, I think, where I excel the most. I'm just not someone who can sit at a computer for like hours at a time. This end one will make kind of thick. All right, now bring your pan. Look at the first one. How do I want to do this? I'm not gonna go right on the end. Also, how many did we get? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay. And these might not look like much now, but when they proof, they're gonna get really, really nice. They're so cute and like small. And so when you put the cinnamon rolls closer together like this, when they bake and proof, it's gonna make them rise up higher rather than spread out the other way, because they have nowhere else to go, right? So they have to go up. Yeah, some reason I like the grunt work. I've always just liked being hands-on. And then we'll just put these 2 extra ones just nestled up over there. It's so cute. Okay, we don't want these to dry out as they proof. So let's just put a clean dish towel over top. You're the total opposite, yet it is. You love that kind of stuff. I wish I did. I don't know what it is. Why I don't like it. I think I get bored easily, and then my attention is just like goes elsewhere, right? So not the job for me. Say goodbye, everyone. And then I'll make a little proofing chamber in the oven. And then we'll set a timer. Shower dishes once again. I'll just put this over here for now. They never end. Okay, first hard part of the stream complete. Papa woke you up at 2:30 in the morning? That is not right. Maybe he just wanted snuggles. Okay, we rolled it, we filled it, and we cut it, and we panned it. I'm gonna say 2.5 to 3 hours. We're putting that into the universe so that it won't take longer than that. Because who has time to wait for that? Not us. Go a little warmer. While we're waiting, let's grab our beef out. Yum. So this was from April 18th. Not even a month ago. Meal plan done for the week, Mish? Anything exciting? Do I need to use another big board because my other ones aren't clean? I think so. Alright, we're going big ass red cutting board now. Love it. Feels like old times. Okay, I'm putting a 2-hour timer on. Shawarma chicken. Yum. With feta, of course. Are you gonna have it with pitas or are you gonna do something else? Just ordered Amazon pink salt. Like Himalayan or a different kind? Zoom it out. I'm gonna open this in the sink because there's just a little bit of purge in the bag. Purge the purge. Look how red that is. Whoa, that looks crazy. You got leftover chicken kebab insides? Yes, please. Boom. Beefy. Hummus. I think I'm gonna make some hummus this week too, actually. Finished all the chickpeas from last weekend. Time to get back into it. It's such a good, like, quick protein snack. Okay, so we have learned over these times where we clean the tri-tip together. The top fat is pretty good to keep on when it's nice and hard. Stuff that's rubbery and gross looking like this, we always take off. And then depending on how the tri-tip looks inside, like we can maybe just give it a little slice in half. Because if it's really marbled, then we don't need to keep a lot of the fat on the outside. Remember that one tri-tip we had? Okay, so this one looks pretty normal to me. Nice cross section, so we'll keep this nice hard fat that is around the outside. Just don't want the stringy fat because it doesn't render nice. So we always clean that off before we grind. And we have the meat grinder chilling already while we do this. And we're gonna keep all of the trim and then I will render it again to get some tallow to use for cooking, even if it's just a small amount. I'm really about not wasting anything anymore. That's a good one. Open up this side. Anything that looks silvery, we always get rid of. Because yes, the grinder is going to break it down into smaller pieces, but that doesn't mean it's going to change the texture at all. The texture still stays rubbery, even when you cook it. Hummus, rice, Greek salad. Yeah, the Himalayan salt. It doesn't actually have benefits. I did read that you can use it in place of Epsom salt in a bath. I thought that was interesting. But other than that, yeah, we did some learning about salt not long ago on a stream, right? The difference between sea salt and kosher salt, remember? And then we did find out that there wasn't much of a difference. Oh, really? Yeah, the HelloFresh, the little ground meat packs that they would send with the meals started to get really gristly. That sucks. I also hate that, like, it'll throw me off when I eat sausage in a casing if there's, like, so much gristle in the sausage. Freaks me out. I'm gonna go a bit more here. We'll take off these stringy bits. This is like the skin or something. I honestly don't know. But it's super rubbery. I usually just hold it nice and tight, and you can just take the single layer off on its own. Like that. And we just have the nice fat under there. And we can cube that up. Let's clean this one next first. New salt and pepper. Oh, nice, like an electric grinder. I've always thought those are so funny. Whoa, look how thick that was. I thought I got enough through. And obviously we want to minimize the amount of actual meat that is on the other side of what we're taking off. You don't want to waste more meat. I think tri-tip is actually a really nice cut to use for grind because the connective tissue is all on the outside, so it's really easy to clean. Whereas, okay, let's compare it more to like a pork, or let's say even if you had a beef sirloin. There's a lot of connective tissue because it's a bunch of muscles put together, so you have to clean in between them. It's quite annoying. What's going on here on this end? That is also the cool thing about beef, is you can kind of separate the muscles by hand. Just kind of pulls apart where the connective tissue is. Hi, Brickling. How have you been? I feel like it's been forever. Yeah, they didn't trim it enough, so I paid for stuff that shouldn't have been there. Classic. I'm not even really gonna use that because it just looks weird. Into the trim pile. Okay, that's looking good. This is nice and hard, same with this, just we'll clean around this area and up here. Yeah, this is tri-tip, but I will say, sometimes tri-tip reminds me of brisket out of any other beef cut. Just like how the grain is, how the two muscles are kind of together as well. Very, very similar. And maybe that's why it does give such a nice grind. Okay, so that's that much on that side. I'm just gonna trim a little bit of this off. See how it's kind of stringy like that? Maybe I should go more. This is my favorite knife ever, Annie. Like, I've had it for 12 years. Since school, through every single restaurant I've worked at, and now all the streams. And it's only, I think, well, it used to be $30. It might probably be closer to $40 now with inflation. It's my favorite though. If you do !B knife, that'll be the link that you need for it. So now we're gonna cut this into around 1-inch cubes. We'll start by making slices. Basically, you just cut steaks. And yes, I do like this blade. So Victorinox makes a couple different boning knives, but I like this one because the blade is flexible. I don't like the blades that are very firm, because I just find that you can't clean as nicely with it. Good job, everyone. Annie. Yeah, Victorinox makes Swiss Army. It's $75 this knife now? Are you serious? That's insane, you guys. I remember when I first made that command, it was like $35. There's a lot of beef for grinding today. I'm excited. Free delivery, though. True. I guess that helps a bit. I'll just go in half and then start cubing it, and I should grab a big bowl. I don't think I'll be able to fit this in the freezer. It's pretty packed, so we'll just have to chill this really well in the fridge. Also, why I don't dilly-dally, right? When you're cleaning meat like this, you want to keep it as cold as possible. And actually, restaurants that grind their own meat, let's say for burgers and stuff, because Sam used to work at a place that did this, the grinder and everything is in the fridge indefinitely. It just lives in there. That'd be amazing. It's still $31 in the US. Well, that's crazy how much it costs for Europe then. What? You just leave yours in the freezer, Scoot? I love that. It's how you stay the safest for yourself, right? You don't want to be making your own self sick from food that you prepared. It's like my biggest fear. I have seen the ice cube method, but I don't understand the part of putting extra moisture. Like, you're just putting moisture in. Usually people do that for sausages and stuff, but then it cooks out. So they're just bulking up the weight. I've never liked that way of doing it. You're just making them pay for more water. It's smart, though, from a cost standpoint. And this was also a Canada AAA, was this entire tri-tip. So good quality beef to start with. That's just one below what you guys have as prime in the States. Just gotta wash my hands so I can grab a bowl. Yeah, I guess it depends if they actually put the ice cubes through with the meat, but it's gonna be melting while it's sitting together. Wilson, how's it going? Yeah, we wish there was a thing called deflation. Where's that at? Amazon Prime steak. That's good to hear, Wilson. We're just chopping up some meat to grind for our meal today. While this is chilling, we'll get some aromatics together. Nom. And then I'll grab a container just to put this little bit of trim in. And I'll probably render it on Monday when I'm off. So many massive cutting boards. Ah! Okay, one more wash up. Yeah, if you ever work in a restaurant or anywhere like that, the cutting boards are actually color-coded to use for certain things. Obviously, red is for red meat. Usually yellow is for poultry, blue is for fish, and then white is like veggies and everything else. Although I really hate when people chop carrots on the whiteboard because you always have to bleach it after and it's annoying. Okay, let's learn about Bobotie. Let's do this. And the one thing I forgot to put on the list was just our cream cheese icing. And let's actually take the cream cheese out so it can warm up a little bit so it's not rock hard. Is that gonna be enough? I don't think that's gonna be enough. It's like half a brick. Yeah, there is actually a big argument whether a wooden board is better than plastic, and I honestly don't think one is better than the other. Because both of them, you can get nicks into it, and that's where they say, like, the bacteria will live. I think, though, like, cutting meat on a wooden board is gonna soak in more of the bloody juices versus a plastic board. That's how I've always thought. That's why I never cut meat on a wooden board. But then I've met people and they only cut meat on a wooden board. And it was wild. And I was like, well, whatever, I guess. I wasn't gonna argue. Okay, they said 8 ounces of cream cheese, so I'll bring out another brick. There's nothing wrong with having leftover cream cheese icing. You only have a wooden board, but it's bamboo? Nice. Bamboo is good. It should be nice and durable. And it grows quick, right? So one nice thing about bamboo is it's a little bit more sustainable than wood. Let's do some reading. Oh, I didn't even pop any of the recipe up for myself. Here's our one recipe. You guys want to read along, feel free. Most commercial restaurants clean boards with a bleach mixture. Yeah. Like usually in the restaurant, you have a company called Ecolab that takes care of all the chemicals you need. So you'll have this little like dispenser that attaches to the water supply. And it will put out the proper parts per million, like you have floor cleaner, all-purpose cleaner, sanitizer, and then you always just have dish soap as well. And so you have to make sure that you follow all of the steps properly. But yeah, let's say the restaurants, like the smaller restaurants that don't have Ecolab, they will always be using a bleach mixture. That's just the safest way to go about it. Even like some people, let's say for example, up at where Sam's work is, for their drinking water, they're mixing up a special like parts per million mixture of bleach, which was nuts. I was like, what? That's actually how like we drink the water from the lake? And the recipe was like written on the wall. Yeah, Ecolab is worldwide. You use the wall pump? Yep. Sometimes it flies and splashes you right in the face. So funny. Okay, Bobotie. It says a classic South African casserole, and this is for Fortitude 2. She's not able to be here with us today. So it says curried ground beef at the bottom and a thin layer of egg custard on top. Sounds interesting, right? And I think there's rice in it too. Hi Hootaz. And thank you Annie for the 499 bitlies. Mish. You're never safe. Mish is always here. Thanks for making me laugh, you guys. Okay, so this recipe comes from a grandma's recipe, which I think is some of the best. If you're gonna go traditional items, use your grandma's recipe. There's a reason why it's been made that long. Okay, a bit of history, it says. You're not 900 years old? Oh yeah, you're only 12. Bobotie's roots, also it's fun to say, Bobotie. I hope I'm saying it proper. Its roots in South Africa date back to the 17th century, this dish. Listen to this. Dutch traders set up camp in the area that is now Cape Town as a stopping point on their journeys back and forth to Indonesia. The traders brought spices, cooking techniques, and recipes with them. While the specifics are a bit vague, it is thought by some that the original Bobotie recipe came from Indonesia and was adapted to fit the available ingredients in South Africa. Yeah, we've made this before, Brick Lane, and it was yummy. We're gonna be making it in our cast iron skillet again today. Another skillet dish. We can't stop. Today, many consider Bobotie to be the national dish of South Africa. And it's become popular on menus featuring South African cuisine all over the world. Some notes. It is the curry powder and the bay leaves that impact the flavor of the dish the most. So use the best quality that you can. Your Indonesian heritage? That's one of my favorite places in the world, seriously. If I could have never left Bali, yeah, I would have lived there for the rest of my entire life. Many dishes, it's very true. And yeah, a lot of people don't know that in the Netherlands, there is a lot of Indonesian food. It's very popular. Kind of any South Asian food is really popular in the Netherlands, which I think is so cool. Bali is overhyped. It can be, depends on where you go. I went to a really small island though, and I freaking loved it. Like where there was 0 vehicles allowed on the island, just horses and bicycles. It says you can use ground lamb in here too. That would be so good. Okay, she says the recipe calls for fruit chutney. I'll grab what I picked up for this today. Same with the tomato paste while I'm here. But she said you could also use a tomato chutney or some other kinds. I got the major gray chutney that has a little bit of spice in it versus just the sweet mango chutney. So this is ginger and mango. I think it's gonna be so good because there's also apricot preserve in this. So try to think of like the sweet kind of curry beef. It's good. Okay, that's all I got. Let's start getting our stuff together. Oh, and we also need bread. Okay, maybe there's not rice. Did I lie? I thought there was rice, but it's bread instead. Okay, we need 3 slices of bread out. I'm gonna use like a multi-grain bread, and I'm actually scared to use it. Because the last time I ate this, which was like way over a year ago, it gave me a reaction. But whatever. I think I'll be all right. I'm just gonna use 2 slices of bread, not 3. And then the bread was gonna get soaked in milk. Basically how you can prepare meatballs as well. And that's just gonna keep things more moist. And give some filler in there as well. Boris Vesely Mansky, thank you for the follow. Do we get Britain's Got Talent over there? I don't know. I don't watch cable TV, so I am really not sure of that one. Come on over. This is Sambo's bread that I keep in the freezer for him if he ever wants bread when he's home. Okay, so we're gonna soak that. I mean, it is frozen, so we'll let it thaw a bit. Soak the bread in 1 cup of milk. While the bread is thawing, we can chop up some onions. Let's go boop, boop. And there's lemon zest and juice. A very interesting recipe. It's fun to show you guys these kind of things. What will be the best for soaking the bread? We'll be able to push it down in here once it's thawed. Let's just pop that to the side for now. We will fine dice some onion. It says you want quite a bit. We'll go with this half. A whole half. Now that we explain this, would you guys try it? This was like almost, well, not 2 years ago, probably 1.5 years ago, Lily. I'm not concerned, don't worry. The worst thing that'll happen is I'll just get a little bit of hives and get itchy. But usually, so this is one thing I've learned with like introducing wheat back in my system. Usually if there is like more protein and fiber and veggies and stuff than actual wheat in the dish, it doesn't affect me. So that's been interesting. Kim is not a fan of curry. What is Kim's favorite food? I need to know this. Because all you ever tell us is the things that he doesn't like. That's where my little slices ended to keep the onion together. Now we'll just give this a couple slices and then go back across. Anything that includes a nice red steak. Kim and I, we would get along then. I'm gonna cut out this root part because it always just stays hard when you cook it. It's like the only part of the onion I throw out with the skin. That's it. Pop that in a container. And then obviously that will get fried up first. Maybe with the beef. I don't know, we'll have to read the recipe. You had curry chicken on Thursday? Yes, that's right. I was so proud of you, Wilson. Guys, Wilson is going on like a food adventure with his son. Did you say once a month, right? They're trying out different cuisines that they've never had before. So this week, they tried Indian food. That's kind of like what my friend and I are doing. Now that we both live here again, we are pretending to be tourists in our own city. Going to all the things that are new or that we've never done before. It's pretty fun. Boop, boop. Honestly, I have been wanting to try to make some egg pasta, yet it is just to see how my body reacts. So don't worry about what you request. I wouldn't worry about it at all because I have not had a reaction in a long time. That's so awesome that you have lots of places to choose from. Okay, next up, I'll go grab our curry powder. It says dried herbs if you have oregano, basil, marjoram, etc. We have fresh basil that I'll definitely chop up and put in. And then why don't we do some dried oregano? So curry powder, oregano, cumin, turmeric. Thank you so much for asking, though. I really appreciate that you guys are thoughtful like that. Hi, Katniss. How have you been? I need the light to see my spice bin. Oregano. Turmeric. Curry. Cumin. We'll put those over by the stove. I am really like happy with the curry powder that I have though. And I got this from a Bulk Barn, if you guys have ever heard of that. It's just a place where you can go buy all sort of bulk dry ingredients. And the reason I really like the curry powder is like it's kind of chunky, where you can see all the things that they blended up into it. And it smells so nice and sweet. I'm not really a fan of curry powder otherwise. But yeah, it definitely makes a difference having a good quality one. I see we also need some garlic, so let's get some of that. It said only 2 cloves, but I don't think that's enough. Plus, mine are quite small. A handful of garlic. Yeah, we're actually going to check out one today with my friend that has like different cleaning products and skincare and stuff compared to just food. Because you do save a lot of money. It's pretty nuts how expensive it is to package things and then sell it, right? We'll just give that a slice. We'll keep the garlic nice and chunky rather than mincing it. And then I'll just pop it over with the onion. Actually, I think I want to get the onion pretty caramelized for this, so let's leave the garlic separate, just so it doesn't burn. Because then the garlic just doesn't taste good at all. It tastes really bitter and, yeah, not good. Nice. What are you up to this weekend, Kat? I feel like it's been forever. Anything else that we need to chop? Sorry. We need half a cup of the chutney, so we can scoop that out. A little more than a tablespoon of the tomato paste. So let's open up the can. We need zest and juice of lemon. And then we need our eggs. I believe we scramble them. Okay, you mix the bread and the beef. I thought at first you just like soak the bread and then you throw it out, but use the milk. That was weird. Japanese festival? What? You guys got festivals starting already? That sounds fun. In the summer, like where we live is known as the festival city. So there's almost a festival. I would say actually there is one every single weekend. It's just jam-packed. Things are good. I'm not working right now. I'm still looking for a job. I was saying I don't know if I want to apply to go back up there again, but we'll see. Because my job is still open from when I left. And Samuel's doing good. He was like a little under the weather because people always go up to work sick, but he didn't actually end up getting sick, so that's good. But it's really foggy up at work today. Can't really see much. So that's always makes things interesting. Let's get the can opener. I couldn't believe how expensive tomato paste was when I went to buy it this week. It was the only can that I could find that was like under $2. Oop. Did I get organic too? No. Just a fancy brand. Only goodness. Whatever that means. Aw, thanks. Yet it is. I don't know. I really like to work. And I know you guys know that too. I've been home for a long time. Feels weird. Ooh, I thought this was gonna be more like hard or thick, but it's not. So this is a mango and ginger chutney. What else is in here? Sugar, mango, salt, ginger, water, acetic acid, spices, garlic, and ginger oil. This is a 1 cup measure, but we need half a cup. I might go a little bit less than half a cup because I don't think I'm making as much as the recipe. I want to try it. Kind of tastes like lemonade or something. Guys, it kind of tastes like lemonade. I don't know. It's like sweet and sour. It's good. Get this lemon. Yeah, that's my description of it. I don't know how else to describe it. Add a bit of sparkling water. Let me just put my chutney into my water. Okay, this is our little bit of lemon that we have left over from yesterday. So we'll zest the outside of it and then juice it out. And I believe they said to mix it all together, the zest and the juice. Yes. It's really juicy, this lemon, so I'm just gonna squeeze out some of it. everywhere. Australian jail. That's hilarious. Give that a taparoo, and then usually I do a little swipe. Just flick it off my finger. Whoa, it went everywhere. Don't be that aggressive. Sometimes I'm crazy. There might be seeds that come out. I'll try to not. Welcome back, Michael. You made it. The gross sounds of when you're doing weird stuff in the kitchen. Aw, really, Cat? I think everyone's like having a bit of a tough time. So definitely make sure you get your rest on the weekends. Take care of yourself. The best smell of the lemon juice on your hands. That was really juicy. It's everywhere. As simple as this recipe is, there's a lot of little ingredients in here, hey? How's our bread now? Nice. Okay, our bread is softened. It's thawed. I think it says 1.5 cups of milk, but we only pour 1 cup of milk in with the bread. Yeah. Measure that. This is a 2-cup measure, so that's why it's easy for me to use. Yeah, nothing in life is permanent, right? You have to learn that. Both when you're going through tough times and also good times. That's why you have to just always be as present as you can. I think I'll just stack these up. And then press them down. So leave 1/2 cup in here. Not in the bread. This is reminding me of when I would always make the Beyond Meat meatballs for the vegans. And I would do this with oat milk so that the meatballs wouldn't get dried out. Animals help big time too. Animals know when you're going through it. For sure they do. Maybe we'll tear this up in half now that it's soft. Anyone else get freaked out by this feeling of the soggy bread? Not my favorite texture. Okay, so we'll leave that. Like, that's probably why I don't ever put it in my meatballs that I make for myself. It's just because I don't like it. Mish, I'll never chew on cornstarch. How do those people do that? Yeah, breadcrumbs will be easier, it's true. Okay, bread, milk. They say just a little bit of oil, whatever kind of fat you want to use. Onion, curry powder, herbs, cumin, turmeric, garlic. We gotta grind our beef next. We got our fruit chutney. We just need 1 tablespoon of apricot jam. So why don't we add it into here? Yeah, just push it out of the view. That's me. Yeah, when I was young, I could not touch raw meat. I don't know what it was. So I'm glad I got out of that. This is my favorite preserve, I think. Apricot. So good with butter. You will tip $500 if I eat a spoonful of cornstarch? I mean, that might be worth it. But that'll be something I can never forget for the rest of my life. Okay, we got that. We got our lemon. We got our tomato paste over there. Salt and pepper. And then we just need our 2 eggs out. And bay leaves. Don't forget the bay leaves. This is the most amount of ingredients for such a simple dish. It's kind of making me laugh. That's right, Bonk. I hate when there's only 1 egg left. What do we do with this? Torino. See, you guys already know. Do you want to break me? I think you already broke me enough on Discord this week. Okay, bay leaves. Leaves of bay. If only I knew someone that had a bay leaf bush. But this container is pretty new. So I would say they are fresh. Okay, this is what it says. Once the bread is like softened, you just mush it up by itself. You take it out. So I think we can do that. And then we add the rest of this milk and then we whip the eggs in, stir it in. I was gonna say, do I have to consult Sam about this endeavor? Katniss, you think that you might like it? Grab a whisk while we're over here. Guys, don't tempt me like this. I have done, though. Like, it is tempting because I have done the cinnamon challenge before. I did it with Samo at work. When we were just friends. Not lovers. And yes, the cinnamon went everywhere. It was quite funny. That got away from me? Why? Why is that weird? We're married. Maybe that was the turning point, hey Torino? In that moment, he's just like, wow. This woman, everything I need. I kind of believe that, Wilson. I should try to go find actually some like old vintage cookbooks. Because they're quite interesting, like the ingredients they use and how they make things is very different than what we do nowadays. Annie. Nike, I almost missed your comment. I believe in the rescheduling of the leaf. Yeah, I did read that actually, that they're going over. That's cool, dude. Old Southern USA cookbooks? Yes. Okay, the gross part is over. Good work, everyone. Boeuf bourguignon. That one's quite actually recent, if you think about it. I think that's where some of the like basic French techniques that we use now, that dish was part of that. Usually I like to whip the eggs first and then add the milk, but we're gonna do it backwards. I mean, Samo was also the guy, like, because he also trained me. Like, I met Sam after I graduated culinary school when he was already working at this restaurant. So he also trained me. I remember when he was, like, going over cooking pasta and stuff like that. And he's like, have you ever seen this trick? I was like, what? And he's like, if you know the pasta's cooked if you throw it on the wall and it sticks. Yeah, he did that. So we definitely had our fair share of fun in the restaurants back in the day. This is saucy. It's exactly what we want. Imagine going there. I walked by it, Annie, when I was in Lyon. That is the one, right? It's in Lyon? I walked by it and I just eyed it up and imagined it. That was about it. Gonna sit back, watch, and learn. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Mish. Okay, I think it's time to set up the meat grinder, guys. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Also, okay, we're 1 hour into the cinnamon rolls rising. I need a peek. Also, I'm gonna redo my proofing chamber. Okay, they're actually rising quick. Doing it this way. Redo the proofing chamber. Get this out. That's so cold, the meat grinder, when I take it out. Make sure that you don't have wet hands because, yeah, your fingers will stick to the metal and it doesn't feel that good. You're gonna doodle a surprise gift for a friend? Your last one that you posted in Discord looks awesome. I'm loving the food ones. I actually saw on YouTube yesterday, there's a guy that he cooks a dish and then after it's plated, he will draw the dish after. It's really beautiful. That reminded me of you, Nike. I've been on for 2 hours. Holy shit, already, actually? Almost. That's nuts. Hi, Trev. Nike. Nike, Mickey, I guess that can sound similar. Your company makes the enrollment brochures for Escoffier? Bob, please. That's so cool. It is in Lyon, right? Am I wrong? No one fact-checked me. Now I need to look. Or is that the other one? Texas? Oh, there's probably a bunch. Oh, there's one in Colorado, too. Okay, I'm going in a different search here. Thank you. Holy 2 full years. Yeah, shh, quiet now. Thank you very much, Minuteman, for being part of our kitchen crew for 2 entire years. I hope I've taught you something along the way. Okay, let's keep going here. First piece is on. Turn off the oven because we're not baking the cinnamon rolls. We're just getting them nice and warmed. Okay, that's in there. Your blade must be facing up the ridges so that it actually cuts through the meat. And we put our dye on. I usually go more of a medium grind than a coarse grind. If you like kind of more steaky, chewy ground meat, obviously go more coarse, but I find this, if you're gonna make meat balls or burgers or something, it sticks together really nice and is a good texture. So that way you have the most versatility. Cat, no one posted their tattoos in the Discord. You're the only one. Hello? Anyone? Anyone else? I guess I should post one of mine that's food related. Some of you have seen it. I don't know how we want to roll this. Maybe this way? I think that's how we usually do it. I would 100% agree, Trev. Like, I don't know the last time that I bought ground meat. I really can't recall. Ever since we got this grinder, I don't think that we've bought ground meat, which is crazy. Let's get another big bowl because we have a lot of this today. And yeah, the texture of when you grind meat yourself compared to what I call like mush is the texture from the store-bought stuff. It's so different. Kat, are you back? Okay. So I said I should post one of mine that is food related, the tattoo. I was saying some of you have seen it, but I don't think everyone has. So then we just line up our bowl underneath and then I'll kind of turn it as it gets filled up. Hey, if you can get a good quality ground beef, there's nothing wrong with it, or any other ground meat for that matter. But it is really expensive here to buy ground beef for whatever reason. And I don't think the quality is as good as what I can make at home. That's why I do this. Okay, do a little test run. Make sure everything's set up proper. We run this at half speed. Beautiful. Start filling. Greek, how are you today? Yum, bison. There's actually a farm around here that I want to buy bison from. It's true. Bison is really dark, lean meat. But so good for you. Hello, Mar. Welcome in. Now it's getting full, we'll just turn it. So this was an entire tri-tip that we cleaned and then cut up to grind. You've never had bison before. Yeah, so like I said, it's a really dark meat Because think about how often they're like running around and stuff. I'm just picking this out. Sometimes you'll get the metal shaving. Just take that out if you see it. And yeah, the bison meat is very lean. You're waiting on an offer to draw a menu of burgers? Sweet! Where does the shaving come from? So all of the pieces of a meat grinder are metal. So you have to think as they're all working together, I would say especially where the blade and the die are touching, because the blade is cutting and then it's getting smushed through the die. And then just a little bit of like meat juices and fat around that just makes that little bit of metal. I mean, I'd rather see it and be able to take it out than have it mixed in, right? I've never been able to use a meat grinder that didn't have that happen. And I've used like quite a few different ones. So I just know now to kind of watch for it. And I will often partially freeze my meat. I just don't have any room in the freezer right now, Trev. So I'll just plunge this. Seems like everything is through. Really nice look on the grind though. Not too fatty, still nice and dark. Sometimes when you run it really low, a little bit comes out. It's kind of funny. Okay, I think that's good. Throw some pork fat. I don't think we need any. So unplug that first before you take it apart. And then I just twist off the entire piece. Like that. Then with my clean hand, because I always have a dirty hand, this was what was touching the meat, and then a clean hand so that I can move things out of the way. Thanks for sharing that, Ninja Man. That's really the whole point of why I show up every weekend for you guys, is to inspire you and teach you to cook better for yourself and other people too. Kate's cooking school? It really is. Shake that out. Pretty clean in there. There's just a little bit of meat around this top part, but the rest of the grinder is clean, which is what you want to see. It's really hard to see in there when I hold it up. But if there was like meat bits and stuff stuck in there, that means everything was too warm. It didn't grind very nice. And thank you, Wilson, for gifting the sub to Ninja Man. Taking apart a little bit of this. And then we have a trim container for this stuff that gets stuck around the blade. I always say it's like an extra cleaning of what we might have missed inside of the muscle. And then I'll just render that out, but it's nothing really that we're like missing. See, if I try to pull it apart, I can't even pull this. So that's sinew that gets caught around the blade. It's like a double check, I always say. Everyone always gets mad when they see that, but I don't. Come hither. And yeah, never put your grinder in the dishwasher. I don't even want to know what this would look like if I did that. Bam. So that's all of our trim from the tri-tip. And now the bowl that the meat was in before, I'm just gonna stack the grinder in it to soak. And you don't want to go super hot water at first either, because it will like cook on the meat to the metal and it will make it very hard to clean. I usually just soak it in some soapy water first. Annie, your dishwasher is still on the back porch. Pretty soon you'll be able to start working on your stuff again though, right? The tile floor. Are you gonna do it yourself? Maybe have a little help? A month and a half. That's gonna come so soon. Someone's grilling from the southeast and it smells good. I always get upset when I walk through the apartment hallway too and you smell everyone's cooking. Just want to knock on all their doors. Hello. Do you have an extra portion? And he lives in a tent. You guys are so bad. So bad. Okay, so we're not gonna use all of this for the bobotie today. How much do we need? £1.5 pounds. What is that, 24 ounces? I think we'll weigh it out just so that we have enough. Did I just do math? Please. That's awesome, Ninja Man. Just load up the grill. Why not? Always good to have extras. Okay, 24 ounces. That's a lot. Okay, let's see how much that's gonna be. I mean, that's 1 pound. That's actually not that much. Because you gotta think it's gonna render out and shrink. That's our 1.5. All right, good work. That's a pretty good amount of meat for the casserole. Oh, I couldn't even imagine having to walk by a burger place on the way home. How do you not stop in every day? I'm gonna just put some plastic actually on top of this one bowl of beef so that I can stack the other one on top. Yeah, I will say, when we had the Shake Shack, when we were streaming from New York, it wasn't that good. I didn't understand the hype. Both Samo and I were like, that's all it is. It was really like yummy and fatty, the meat. But I didn't think it was really worth the hype. It was definitely overhyped. But okay, yeah, we can definitely say it's still better than McDonald's. Let's have a peek, guys. The butter's like melting out of it almost. That looks insanely good though. I honestly think we'll be able to bake these at the same time as the casserole. And then we'll make the cream cheese icing while we're waiting. That's amazing looking. I really didn't want to wait the 3 hours. It was gonna break my heart. You gotta poke it. You can't not. Sourdough cinnamon rolls. Yes, Ninja Man. That'd be so fun. I miss cooking for people like that, it's true. Wilson, my wife and I have learned to never eat at any restaurant that starts with world famous. Although I have been trying out some recipes lately that have said like the best, and they've been okay. I'm always a bit wary of it. So we are gonna start with some fat in the pan. We're gonna add our onions, all of our spices and herbs. I still have to get the basil out. And then we're gonna add our beef into there with everything else. And then we stir in a bunch of the other ingredients. It said it should taste delightfully zingy. Pour our custard over top. Scatter a couple bay leaves and it bakes. It says 45 minutes or until golden brown. I don't think it'll take that long. Fat in the pan. Let's go medium heat. Tastes like a zinger? I think so. Annie, it's funny. The only way you could really break a heart is to freeze it in liquid nitrogen and then hammer it. Have you seen this happen? How do you know this? Or drop it from a height. Guys. I think we need a bit more still. Because fat equals flavor. And the onions really like soak it up, I find. What's a zinger? Bonk doesn't know what the zinger is either? I need to know. What's a zinger? All right. Got our onions. We got a spoon. This is exciting. You know what a zinger is? All of you guys know? I'm looking it up while we're waiting for this. A raspberry snack cake? That sounds delicious. It might actually work. No, it won't. Can I just copy paste it? Mish. Copy paste it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. I'll do it myself. Whoa! I've never seen that in Canada. Of all the Hostess snacks that we get, a zinger has never existed. Okay, this looks good. So we're gonna fry this till it's golden brown. Because once we add the beef, it's gonna cool down the pan a bit. I guess we can leave the beef out if we're cooking. No need for it to be in the fridge anymore. Spread that out. And always a good idea to give it a season while the onion is cooking. Pop that over with our custard. Just gonna catch up and chat over here. Yeah, Wilson, you knew what it was. Michael, Burger King and McDonald's burgers tasted way better back in the day. I think so much stuff tasted way better back in the day. Like when we try our favorite snacks from when we were young, like Dunkaroos and stuff, that doesn't taste the same anymore. Even Kraft Dinner, like I wouldn't even know if I could eat a box of Kraft Dinner anymore. Yeah, that's really all it is. Food used to have way less preservatives and stuff back then. I'm going pretty heavy on the pepper because I really like pepper with beef. I've seriously been like salivating since we ground the meat. I'm so ready. My hunger is back. Maybe that's what happens when you don't drink coffee anymore. Oh no. Because I haven't had a coffee since Tuesday. I almost made an iced coffee today. I was so tempted. It's just because I seen someone else with one and then I wanted it, right? Sizzle, sizzle. Yeah, I have to get more matcha because the one I have is quite old. And I will say, the matcha does not affect me like how coffee does. Trev, just have fries cooked in lard and then don't eat them every day? But how could you not? Am I quitting caffeine? It's a tough journey, I will say. Every time I'm like doing good, I always go back to it. I especially drink more coffee when Sam's home because he likes coffee and he makes really yummy ones, so I like to indulge in that, right? But yeah, when he is away, I only try to drink one coffee a week now. It's crazy. But I will say it has like helped me feel better. My skin's not as dry. Just like little things I've noticed. I have more appetite. And I'm not like sweaty, anxious. So the benefits outweigh what I'm missing, I guess. And it still makes me a bit sad, but that's okay. I still believe in everything in moderation. Just listen to your body. Yeah, like I don't really limit what I eat at all. I eat whatever the heck I want. So if I have to limit a little bit of what I drink, who cares, right? That's interesting that a bunch of you are also experimenting with that. This is looking good. I'm gonna open up the spices and get a little spoon out. Get them ready. I still need to get the basil. Who called them? I'm not starting the fires today. I did yesterday though. I'm gonna set up the fan. Our hallway fan, just to get some air movement from the smoke detector. You did it, Mish? Hey, these are browning pretty quick, actually. It's almost time to add the garlic. We'll let that fry for a couple moments, and then we'll add the spices in, and then the beef. I mean, that was the first fire truck all day, so that's not bad. Usually on the weekends, we've had at least like 4 roll by already. That's a good question. I don't know if Annie knows the answer to it. Would we die if the world stopped turning? Would we just start floating? I don't know what would happen. I wonder, actually, Minuteman, who posted in Discord that, was it Staub is having a big sale? Scooter. Oh, their Staub was on sale at Wayfair. I just need to stir this before I type, because I could hear the sizzles getting more aggressive and I don't want the onion to burn. So this is a Staub cast iron pan. Food 52 is having a sale. And I believe it's the 10-inch skillet if you want to look it up. We've had this one, maybe not quite 10 years, maybe 8 or so years that we've been cooking with it. You could see, because we used to have a gas stove, how like some of the fat got cooked up onto that one side. But considering the age of this and how much we cook with it all the time, it's seriously one of my favorites. This and the brazier I have. I think those 2 pieces of equipment can do a lot of things with them. Okay, let's mix our garlic in. But yeah, I would never buy cookware like this full price, because it always goes on sale, is something that we've noticed. And they did have a sale not long ago here in Canada. I'm not sure about the States or anywhere else, but I was so tempted. The smell of the garlic. There's barely any fat in this pan now, and I felt like we put a lot. Your neighbor's hometown is Red Deer? Nike? That's amazing. Did you tell them about me? Do they reminisce about being back in Canada? Where's my little spice scooping spoon? Let me see these ingredients or amounts of the spices first. 4 teaspoons of curry powder, that's the most. 1 teaspoon of the herb, half teaspoon turmeric. Okay. Turning this down just a touch. The onions are going nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Curry. Half turmeric. I need to stir this. The color of the onions right now, this is gonna make it taste so good with the beef. Okay, next. 1 cumin. The smells in here, guys, is kind of crazy. All of this combination. 1 oregano. Stir it up. Because we want to fry those spices a little bit. Get them aromatic. And now, do we do tomato paste or do we wait on that? Sometimes you add the tomato now, but it might be after the beef. Add the beef. Okay, we add it after. Beef is going in. I'm gonna turn it back up now because it's gonna cool down the pan a bit. And get this stirred up really well so that you get the layer of onions and spices and stuff off of the bottom of the pan. I'm just turning my fan on above me because it's a bit warm while I'm standing here. Okay, that looks like it's stirred up really well. There's not really any layer of onion sitting there. Now we'll let this fry. I don't want to get it too like mushed up and minced. So let that cook. Let's add a little bit more salt and pepper for the meat while it's going. Yeah, when you deglaze with beef. Yes, please. This smells so yummy. Okay, I'm still gonna tear up just a little bit of basil while this is cooking because I have it fresh. And they said you could add basil. And we're looking for leaves the size of our head, okay? Nothing less. Bonk, you're well seasoned? I would like to think so of the stories that you tell us. Mish. Actually, I might have to give this just a little chopperoo. Here, I'll bring you over so that we can roll our basil blunt together. This is a really easy way to cut basil, is just roll the leaf up and then slice it through while it's rolled up. And because we're cooking the basil, the flavor is not going to be as strong as if we are just using it fresh. It's a good day, CJ Dewey. And that's it. There's actually a proper term for that, and it's called chiffonade. I had to think there for a second. It didn't come to me right away. But when you slice basil like this, yeah, it's called a chiffonade. Fancy French term. Good try, Greek. Good try. You're my favorite when it comes to spelling, just so you know. I'll put it in chat. Chiffonade. Let's stir this up now. Getting a little bit of brown in action on the one side. Things are cooking. The smell of the basil in there now, I don't even know what to say. Okay, we're almost cooked through. So I think we will take our rolls out of the oven and get the oven heating up. I didn't look at the temp, but I know the cinnamon rolls bake at 400, so I'll go close to that. Yes, Bonk. You can smell it cooking fat? That's magic. Okay, this says 350. So why don't we go in the middle, like 375 for both things together? Tree fitty. So many things get cooked at that temp. I'm gonna go like 385 just because I know my oven's cool. And we are baking 2 separate things, right? I mean, it's never a bad thing when there's a bit of extra butter swimming around. But those look so good. Get rid of the towel. And then I just have to rearrange an oven rack, because I had them close together. And while everything's baking, we'll make our cream cheese icing. I'm so excited for all of this. Annie, you would go 420? So would Nike, yep. Extra juices never hurt anyone. We would like to think so. Okay, is this all fully cooked? Looks to be. So then it says to just turn the heat off of the pan while we mix in everything else. Also, I think I just need to eat a spoonful of this right now by itself before we mix things in, because it just looks really good. It's almost reminding me of like larb. You guys ever had that? It's a Thai dish. Or even a dish from Laos. The flavor and texture of the beef, man. And like, it still needs salt, but it seriously tastes delicious already. Okay, so we won't add any more seasoning until everything is in here. So now we're gonna add, there is some mango chutney as well as just apricot preserve, a tablespoon of it. We are adding in our bread now that was soaked in the milk. This is so weird. It's okay, it'll mix in really nice, don't worry. We are adding in some tomato paste. It said 4 teaspoons, so a tablespoon and a bit, because there's 3 teaspoons in every tablespoon. Go like that. And then we have some lemon zest and juice. But it says divided in the recipe, so I just want to see if we don't add it all right away. Okay, just half of it right now, and then we'll taste it. And then we can always add more, because it says, this is coming back to where we were talking about zingers. It should be zingy. Zesty and zingy. I'm gonna kind of moosh the bread a little bit first. Okay. This is a full pan as well. when we add the custard, I think we'll just bake this in the oven on a sheet pan. Just in case it goes over. I don't think it will, but I don't like to risk it. There's really nothing I hate more in like the kitchen to have to clean the oven. Maybe it's just because I've cleaned so many in the restaurant before that I've had my fill over the years. And like, think about how dirty a commercial oven gets compared to your little home oven. I'm just gonna keep mixing this until it looks really well combined, everything. I don't see any chunks of bread. I think we're pretty much there. At first it looked really weird when we put all that stuff in, right? But now it looks normal. Okay, so let's try this. Put some cheese on top. I mean, if you want, right? Recipes are just guidelines. Do whatever you want. I always try to make sure if I'm making a dish for the first time that I've never done, try to follow the recipe as close as you can, and then you can decide once you eat it how you want to make it another time. It's like not really sweet at all from adding all that stuff. Everything combines so well. It's really balanced. Like, I don't taste curry over the cumin or the oregano or the basil, but I think we could definitely add the rest of the lemon because it's not too zingy. So let's do that. Who made soup the first time? Where? When? The first soup ever? Okay, that's mixed. Now, let's just moosh this into a nice even layer in the pan. I think we pour our custard over next. It's just eggs and milk, really simple. And actually, I'll just give a sprinkle of salt and pepper over this layer before we pour the eggs, so everything kind of gets seasoned as it bakes. Clean up the edges. The first soup was soup, then we add or take away flavors. So true! What was the first soup? Very cool, Bonk. Zing went the strings on Annie's heart. Okay, let's get a sprinkle. So what? We've seasoned this now 3 times. We seasoned the onions when they cooked, we seasoned the beef, and now we're seasoning one more time before the eggs. And especially with the milk, is really creamy, right? Gotta cut through that richness. And because everything's warm, I really don't think it's gonna take 45 minutes to cook. Let's get our sheet pan under there before we pour the egg. Google is definitely your friend. I remember when our friend used to be Ask Jeeves. Early people began cooking broths as soon as they discovered making mud vessels, yeah, or clay pots, because you always needed something to cook it inside. 6,000 BC onwards. I might have slammed the drawer, Torino. I'm sorry. Okay, it just says pour the custard over the meat and decoratively scatter the bay leaves on top. And you just cook uncovered. Mish. Okay, I'll go with this hand so you guys can watch. The little fatty bits floating up to the top. Look at that cute little bay leaf. Why are they so small? This is amazing. It says to do 4. I don't think I would do any more than that because it would be quite a strong flavor. You got Annie with an anchovy. A bit salty, but consumable on its own. Isn't it crazy, Bonk? It's seriously a crazy dish, but it's really good. It's really good when it's done. So let's pop that in the oven with the cinnamon rolls. Dessert. Dinner. I'm gonna put the cinnamon rolls on the top rack and the meat on the bottom. I gotta two-hand this. Yeah, I used 2 bay leaves in this soup, and I couldn't find one of them. Just hopefully don't blend it into the soup. That would be a tragedy. Ooh. There's some weight to that, right? 1.5 pounds of beef, bread and stuff. I got a 17-minute timer on my watch already. So I think I'm just gonna let that keep counting down and we'll check everything at that point. Okay, I'm gonna put away our spices that we don't need. And then we'll make our cream cheese icing. Also get rid of the rolling pin. That was fun. Not too time consuming, it's only 2:30 now. Everything ready in about 3 hours. That's good, because I told my friend I was gonna be done stream around 3. I've gotten really good at my stream timings over the years. I will say that. Everything distributed. Wait, while I'm over here, I need vanilla. I'm curious to see what sugar she uses for this icing. I was gonna do maple syrup, because I don't think I have any icing sugar. Yeah, it's not 2:30, it's 10 p.m. Please. I turn this down now? Yes. When your youngest was around 8, you gave him a bowl of homemade chicken soup, gobbled it up. He was like, "Daddy, that soup was good, but this thing was gross." That was the bay leaf. He didn't eat it though, did he? Did he bite into it? Oh my goodness, Don Cherry. For anyone that's not Canadian in chat, Don Cherry used to be, what should we say, Torino? A commentator for Hockey Night in Canada. And he always wore an insane suit that was like printed or just crazy. That's what he was known as. Thanks for the blast from the past. I haven't heard that name in forever. A boomer. You guys say way worse things than I do. I just repeat them. Yo, she actually used maple syrup. 8 ounces of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, a tablespoon of cream or milk, and some vanilla. So she used only 2 tablespoons of butter in her filling, where we all thought that wasn't enough, so we like upped the amount of butter. But I just noticed in her recipe, before she bakes the buns, she pours cream into the pan instead of adding more butter, and she says it makes them more moist when it bakes. That's crazy. And yeah, they only bake for 20 minutes at 400. She just says combine all the ingredients until smooth and fluffy. So whether you do it in a mixer or just by hand, totally up to you. Let's see how soft our cream cheese is, and then I'll make a guesstimated decision. Cream, I don't know. 18 minutes at 420 then? Yeah. I took out more than 8 ounces of cream cheese. Hey Siri, how much is 8 ounces in grams? Okay. So a little bit under this. Why would it be 226 grams, but they sell it as 250? I can't help it, Mish. That's how it's labeled here. I had this little bit left over from another stream, which actually looks more like 3/4 of one. So we'll just take that little bit off to equal it out. So you always need to use up FIFO. First in, first out. This was open first, you use it up first. You're welcome, everyone. Learning together. At least I didn't say Alexa, because that one gets me way worse than Siri. Did you go and look, Michael, or did you already know who it was? I do like these new packages, though, that Costco packs their cream cheese in. I don't know if the Philadelphia does this, but you can just, like, easily open up this little pouch. I'm about that. You went and looked. An icon from back in the day. But I do remember when he got fired. There was like a whole thing. People were going like freaking out about it. It is the same as the Philly pack? Okay. Because I remember the Philly used to be like folded up more like butter. And then I just neatly fold it back up. Fold the edge over. Oh, perfect. Philly opens on the flat, not the edge. See? I knew it. I knew it, Bob. And then we'll save the rest of our cream cheese because I still have 2 more bricks for Michael's cheesecake, I'm thinking. We need some milk, and I'll grab the maple syrup. Neufchâtel. I remember this one time, if Sam's mom is still watching, she called us because the German recipes call for that, right, Annie? She's like, how am I gonna find this in Canada? And I forget what she sourced instead of it, but it was pretty close to the same thing. Maple syrup. I haven't looked at the price on that one lately. Oh, there's a letter in the door. I love sneaking the letters out of the door and seeing what it's all about. It was just in the door. They're interchangeable, pretty close. I forget what she used instead. I think I'm just gonna mix this in a bowl because there's not really enough for me to use in the mixer. So we're gonna whisk it, and we have time for that too. I don't know if I'll whisk it, maybe just a wooden spoon of sorts to smoosh it. And this is only gonna work if you pulled out your cream cheese early like I did, so it's like really nice and soft. What? Minute Man, thank you very much, gifting the sub to Fuzz Betsy. Welcome to the kitchen crew. I am smelling cinnamon buns. That's my report. I'm not peeking though, as much as I want to, I'm not. Okay, what spatula do I want? I think this one. Chose a nice, like, flat spatula for smooshing. So we're gonna smoosh this up by itself kind of first to get it more softened. And then I think we'll add the maple syrup next. Once it is soft though, we'll be able to whisk it. I might actually pop this just on the stove top. Once we have it spread into this bowl like this, soften it more. I don't know what happened there, but that's like satisfying looking. And when we spread it out, it's gonna warm up quicker rather than keeping it in one big chunk. We're like halfway through the timer. The cinnamon buns look amazing. Cinnamon buns look so good. Neufchâtel, a bit lower fat content and more moisture than standard cream cheese. Thanks for looking it up, Bonk. Did you hear Gordon say smoosh once? Same with sploot is also a technical culinary term. Well, I'm pretty proud that we were able to bake all of this together because those cinnamon rolls shouldn't even be in the oven yet. But when we make a proper little proofer, rather than just relying on the ambient temperature of your house, it will go quicker, even without yeast. I'll need 32 ounces of cream cheese for the cheesecake. That's gonna be wild. I was also thinking for the creme brulee part, I have to source my torch. We used to have a good torch to make creme brulee, but I can't remember if I left it at my brother's or if it's here. I'll have to look in the barbecue tote, because that's important. You can't make creme brulee without a torch. I mean, people say you can do it in the oven, but nah. Not for that cheesecake. Really, Bonk? You get Neufchâtel when you make your poor man's version of beef stroganoff? That would be good, though, instead of sour cream. Now you're kind of making me want to make, like, hamburger helper with my leftover ground beef. Good thing I have time. Yeah, I'll be making that when Sam's home, because there's no way I could eat all that by myself. Also, he loves creme brulee. That's his favorite dessert, other than pecan pie. So it just has to happen. I'm gonna check on this stuff, see how it's softening. I put it on the burner where the oven, like, exhausts the heat. That's my little trick. Obviously, that only works on a coil burner stove, but it is working. It already got really soft. We'll leave it on for like one more moment, I think, and then we'll be able to mix the rest of these flavorings in. No problem. What are you guys for topping a cinnamon bun? Are you cream cheese icing people, or some people just like a simple glaze instead of cream cheese? I've always been a cream cheese person. There, like, any excuse to have cream cheese icing, I'm taking it. Mish puts feta on top. That must be a Danish thing, I'm guessing. You guys. Yeah, you can't eat them anymore. Well, you could. Oh no, because the sugar part. I was gonna say if you made it gluten-free, but even the sugar itself would just destroy you, hey? Yeah, anytime there's a dessert with cream cheese icing, I am always down to make it. We're pretty much there. We only have 2 more minutes on the timer before we peak. Slippers? I forget it. What is the slipper question? Sometimes my mind draws a blank, so you'll have to remind me. Yeah, Bonk, if you're talking cake, you'll always grab a piece if it has cream cheese frosting. Because I know you're a pie man, though. And yeah, I like my cream cheese frostings definitely more, like, cheesy than sweet. A self-admitted. Now look at that, how nice and spreadable it is. Okay. Vanilla. Oh yeah, that's right. Man, you're a memory dude. Mish, I told this story yesterday of when my mom would used to feed me liver when I was young in the high chair, and I had these little booties that had bells on them, and my feet would just get going because apparently I loved liver when I was little. And then Michael said maybe there's feta on Mish's when she was young. I said probably. I was a strange kid. Yeah. It's true. I actually probably was. I admit it. I'm not afraid of it. It's fun to be weird. Well, the vanilla just mixed in really nice. Let's add a bit of sweetener. Who wasn't a strange kid? Exactly. We are all like so different. I don't think normal really exists. Boom, it's going off. My wrist is just vibrating like crazy. I'm just gonna peek at the cinnamon rolls because they're supposed to be around a 20-minute bake. They're looking fantastic. Bobotie is baking. It's taking a bit though. I'm just gonna turn this all the way up to 400 because I think it can take it. And then we're gonna do... I'm gonna do 7 more minutes for the buns. Yeah, also that's true, yet it is. People are always weird, but when you're a kid, you're allowed to be more weird and people don't really question it. So see how I added the first 2 ingredients before adding the cold milk? That might make the frosting more hard. This is mixing so good. I've never made cream cheese icing by hand before. Don't be afraid to try something new. I just really didn't see a point of setting up the entire mixer for this small amount. Okay, that's nice and smooth. That's really the most important part. I'm just gonna add a very small amount of milk. You can be friends, but you only have bologna and mayo. When I was little, the sandwiches at my babysitter were bologna, mayo, and ketchup. And I like foxed with those hard. Okay, see how the milk kind of fudged it up a little bit, but it's okay. Stir it up. I think we can still put a little more. Nike hates bologna and mayo. I just eat fancy bologna now in the form of mortadella. That's how I feel every time I eat mortadella. I'm like, this is the adults' bologna. We are civilized. I'm gonna stop here because I like the consistency of it. I'm also just gonna switch to a smaller spoon. I want to scrape the edges of the bowl. You don't mind bologna if it's fried? Oh, yeah. I did see that recently, like up at camp. They started doing fried bologna because we had a lot of newfies, like people from out east, and I guess that's what they eat for breakfast. I was like, is that fried bologna on the line right now? The breakfast cook's like, yeah? It's like, what is going on here? I just didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, newfie steak, exactly. I'm gonna put a little bit more maple syrup. It's a bit cheesy still. Hello? I was like, is there anything left? That bottle's almost done, but don't worry. I have 2 more. We stonked up. It's a thing in the southern states as well, the fried bologna. Hey, I like learning about stuff. You know how good this is gonna be? A dollop on top of the buns. That's really the consistency we're looking for. If you could do that. Okay. Icing is complete. Is that Boss Man? Hi, Boss Man. How's it going? We really didn't make too much dishes today either. Nike's getting away. Nike's gotta go. He can't handle all this baloney talk. You phony baloney. Let's get the trivet over here. For the Cinnabons. And while we're waiting, I'm just gonna pack away the extra tomato paste into a little jar to put in the freezer. I'm doing good, Boss Man. Thanks for asking. I'm ready to eat some food right away here. Everything smells delicious. It's just a bunch of bull. I was gonna say that one actually. I'm glad that you did. There's a fan there. I'll fix it. Keep going. But yeah, there's a fan there. Are you okay?
I just forgot how big my feet are.
Little jar, come to me. I think this will fit everything. Kind of second guessing it actually. I think I need a bigger one. Don't worry, Wayne, it's my biggest fan. Have you ever put mayo on a cinnamon bun and told someone it was cream cheese? No, because I don't believe in doing evil things like that. Also, yeah, what a waste of a cinnabon. I've seen people do mean things in restaurants before and I just like did not understand it. And after that, I always said to myself, I would never be that person. Like, as funny as it is in the moment, man, that person is never gonna forget that and they're never gonna like trust people when they give them food. The amount of butter in these cinnamon buns, I don't even know what to say right now. I'll be like pouring it out into a container and saving it. I'm just gonna take the temp. Temp our baking. If it's 195 or higher in the center, it's cooked. It's not quite there. It's at 193. I usually push it to 205. And these are quite like blonde. Quite blonde, not browned. I don't know if that's part of the cinnamon, or sorry, the sourdough in it. So I'll just do another quick 5 on that. Right? We should have put it up to 420. This freaking oven. Now it's there. And it does look like the Bobotie is almost done too, guys. So we're rolling right along. Okay, so now I'll just freeze this tomato paste. And it's actually really easy to just chunk off a little bit when it's frozen. Torino, you love ketchup, but you'd never put it on shawarma. I'm so happy you said that. A flip-flop would be flying at your head. Yeah, you don't want to risk that. That sounds scary. Okay, couple more moments. We shall wait. I'm gonna refill my water and you guys should too. Patrick Mahomes puts ketchup on well-done steaks. I mean, I don't know much about that guy, but I'm not surprised. Oh, yeah, just in case, my watch is telling me to stand, as if I haven't been standing for the last 3 hours. Thanks, though. Me neither, Bonk. I don't even have ketchup in the house. Actually, this one German girl that's like a fitness on YouTube, and she cooks all sorts of different foods. She always like drowns her roasted vegetables in ketchup. I never expected to see someone from Germany do that. I don't know if that's just like her version of a healthy like sauce, but there's so much sugar in ketchup. But it's like destroying what all the healthy food that she just made. I have seen that one, the ketchup on scrambled eggs, because like eggs and tomato is good. I've also seen, actually I have done this, the ketchup on Kraft Dinner, but it has to be really peppery. And I'm not saying I have done this recently at all. I would have had to been like 10, 12. Yeah, like with the roasted potatoes, okay, but all the other veggies, what is going on? KD with ketchup and cut up wieners. My God, you're living if you had that as a kid. Okay, one more moment that we have to wait. I'll put away our extra ingredients. I don't think I'd ever put salt, but definitely pepper. That sounds yummy, Nike. Barbecue brisket on mac and cheese with a drizzle of KC barbecue sauce. Okay, I'm coming right over. We're still on the bologna talk. Nike's like, why did I even come back to this channel? Mish, nice question. Is that why she's your ex? Did you post it, Torino? Your ketchup eggs? Okay, we're getting a bit of browning action now. But like the more that you bake it, kind of the drier it's gonna get. So I don't want to go too much farther. And you know what I am actually gonna do? Are we gonna baste this with the butter over top of the rolls? Yeah, we are. I mean, smart of her to eat anything that you made. Oh, and the sugars? Okay. Have you ever had butter-basted sourdough cinnamon rolls? Well, you have now. Not for the diet, obviously. I think that is already known. Okay, so I'm like really curious though of how these would have baked if we poured cream in there. That actually soaked it back up. I've never drizzled caramel over, but that looks good. The cat came back the very next day. Ketchup on pierogies? Yeah, you dumped her every time she did it. I still do have a pierogi hankering. Maybe next weekend, I don't know. I said it was gonna be this weekend, but then I never went to the farmer's market. So I didn't buy pierogies. And every time I want to go to buy pierogies, I know my baba like gets mad at me from above. She's like, why aren't you making this, Kate? Okay, I'm gonna peek at the Bobotie. Yeah, there's not too much longer on that, actually. A little bit of loose egg just in the center. So let us fix our timer for that. We'll do another 7. And then why don't we serve one of these up while they're nice and warm, and we'll pop some icing on it. I think you're good on that front, Bonk. You know what you want and need in your life. Sometimes we do things when we feel lonely, but that's not why we should do them. Used to have brown sugar on pierogies, but they were probably blueberry pierogies. I've done that. This sounds crazy. Ready, guys? Blueberry pierogies with sour cream and brown sugar. This is not a lie. I hope these didn't stick. Bonk. I mean, they're lifting out of there pretty good. They didn't really grow too much in size, though, when we baked it compared to when they proofed. Like, a little bit rising, but not that much. I expected a bit more, I guess. Raspberry pierogi, strawberry, peach, pear. I've never had those ones. Let's zoom into this. We'll just let that sit there and get a little warm, I think, before we start pulling it apart. And I'm not gonna put the icing in the fridge until I ice all of those. I just don't want it to melt. If we put it on top right now, it'll melt away. So I'll ice them once they're cooled, and then I'll distribute them. Go to Dolphin, you'll find all kinds there. I will. I'm taking a road trip. Oh, really, Michael? So I'm assuming that you're Ukrainian then, or Polish. Is it Dolphin or Dolphin? Because there's no E on the end. Dolphin? A new place that I've never heard of. Dolphin. Actually, I can probably just pull this apart if I lift it. There's not enough filling, I don't think. We probably should have put more sugar, but let's see. It's steaming. There's the angle we need for the lighting. It looks good though. It's good. Very different from any cinnamon roll I've had though. I like the tang from the starter. It cuts through the sweetness. We could have put more cinnamon. I'm kind of getting lost in the dough and the icing. And yeah, it's a bit dry. Not like dry that it's inedible. Just compared to other cinnamon buns that I've had. There's like a lot of stuff in the middle. Oh, that's amazing, Michael. I want to get to the middle. Because Bonk said that's the best. But I don't think it's going to be that amazing. Let's say this. To eat these for breakfast, I wouldn't feel bad. Because it's like not super sweet at all. And then with the sourdough, because there's no commercial yeast at all in here, it's a bit denser and heavier. But yeah, the flavor is still yummy. It's just different. Not bad though. He didn't phrase it that way. But for me to continue on my stream without getting in trouble, yes, he did. So good. We're all adults here. Okay, what? There's like beefy fat bubbles. Is the egg cooked? Oh, baby, it might be. Okay, let's take the cinnamon rolls away. Yeah, we're all adults except one person. Somehow, we still keep you around. Somehow you're allowed here. Oh, that's a heavy pan. I just one-handed it out of the oven. The egg is cooked, guys. It didn't sploot over. Now you can turn the oven off. Obviously, before we serve that, we gotta let it rest a couple moments. Yes, Bonk. You know the drill. Let's get a plate while we're waiting. I don't know what we should plate this in or on. Probably look good on the black plate again. Contrast the color to the egg on top. Sure, let's do that. And then how I'm gonna serve this. What should we try? Cut it like a pie or a cake and then try to serve it with like a pie server? Or we can just take like a metal spoon and kind of carve out a little area. Probably the spoon will be easier because I don't want all the beef to just fall out on the pie server. So let's get a metal spoon. It was blurping. I know, that's the scary fat. The blurps. It's still going. It's still going. It's talking. But that's what's gonna burn your face off. Okay, before we serve out of it, I'm gonna take a photo. Also forgot to take a photo of the cinnamon rolls. It's like a South African version of a cottage pie, but not potatoes and custard instead. Kind of, hey? I think it's just eaten by itself, but I'm down to put a little bit of Eric's hot sauce on there that I've been into. I'm not gonna go habanero because I don't want to overpower. But this has garlic and cumin and cayenne with some other peppers. It's Eric's fermented Shrek water. It's so delicious. Not super spicy, but really, really flavorful. Oh, Torino. Yeah, like either the lime pickle or the chili pickle. If you guys have ever had that before. It's really spicy, but super flavorful. Gotta get it for the gram. Actually, I'm gonna set up my camera while this is resting to just take a little video while we serve this up. See how that goes across on the internet. That might be something that we do from now on at the end of stream. Because photos are one thing, but videos are really satisfying. It's really hot still? Yes. It's funny how I video on my cutting board is I have to put a sheet pan over the sink to create a base for the camera to sit on. We hit the 3-hour mark. We did good. Yesterday we did 4 hours. It was a longer Friday, I will say that. That looks amazing, actually. Is it actually 7 a.m. for you? No, it's not. You're like 8 hours. What time is it on the moon? That's enough. It's enough out of you. We're gonna move this over. I don't even know where you are, it's true. There's a knock at the door? Don't scare me. We gotta really back it up. Imagine it's Sam. That would be odd. That would mean he got like fired or something. If it was Sambo. How long will it take to ship? Where are you at again? I could check right now on Canada Post. Okay, before I get into this, I'm gonna get my video going. I got too excited. Boston, right next door. In what world is Boston right next door to where I am? Actually, he had a scary day yesterday when I talked to him. I didn't talk to him a ton because the internet was not working up at camp. But he said someone forgot to do their pre-check on the trailer that's behind like the semi, because there's a flat deck trailer up there to haul things around on site. Yeah, so they didn't do their pre-check on the trailer, and what did he say? The jack stand flew out from under the trailer runs over it, so there's this 75-pound piece of metal that's flying right at Sam that's traveling behind. So you had to like take the water truck that's full, basically almost drive into the ditch. He saved it, and then he had to he just called his supervisor to come and like stay with him for about half an hour till he calmed down. Oh, definitely an incident report. I was like, what the hell are they doing up there? I think I'll need to do this in 2 scoops. Maybe not. Let's do this. Well, that scooped out really nice. Okay. And there's just that thin layer of egg on top that it's not gonna make it like weird. Totally Final Destination. I never know what he's gonna tell me when he says, oh, I definitely had an interesting day today. Is Sam a Canadian lager? No. I almost said yeah. Show that first. Show you guys. It seriously looks like cottage pie now, hey? In the Yukon, in Nunavut. Yeah, he's a German lager. Good one. I didn't see the lager that you wrote. I love it, Mish. Nunavut. It's actually a U at the end. Oh, also update this morning from the person that was lost, our friend. Still didn't find him yesterday. That's messed up, man. Yeah, so if you guys want to know a little bit about like Nunavut and the Inuit, so Inuit means plural. If you see one person from Nunavut that's indigenous, it's Inuk. I-N-U-K. If you see multiple indigenous people from Nunavut, that is Inuit. We had to take an entire course and it was really, really interesting. And I learned a lot from it. And yeah, that's like the running joke whenever we're cooking. You'll have none of it. This is good, guys. And like, let's say this. I'm kind of a weird egg person. So the fact that I'm eating this and saying like, this is actually really delicious, kind of freaks me out. I-N-U-K. I really like that we added the basil. I didn't do like all those herbs last time. That's seriously delicious. And like a lot of protein, right? And this is gonna fill you up for hours. There is a little bit of like onion and garlic for fiber. But yeah, this should keep you satiated for a long, long time. Like, to describe the taste, I would say the curry taste came out a bit more. But it's so light that you wouldn't really be able to guess that's what it is. It's not really overly sweet or sour or anything like that from what we added. Just super balanced. Thank you, Cheeseology. I'm a weird egg person in the fact that, like, sometimes I can't eat eggs because they gross me out. That's why I'm a weird egg person. And yeah, this is a cast iron pan. Mukluk is Inuit. I believe so. Those are the slippers or boots that they make out of the animal hides. Looks like a one-pot cowboy meal. It's seriously awesome. I would never guess that it's a South African dish. You guys need to try this. Even the egg on top, you don't even really know that it's egg. If no one told you that, you'd probably think it's cheese or something else. Or just some kind of cream. The egg didn't go rubbery. And yeah, the texture on the meat kind of just melts in your mouth. That's better than the last time I made it, I will say that. Cowboy Ken, I follow him on Instagram, Trev, but I've never seen his YouTube. Let's try it with a little bit of hot sauce. The curry's not spicy. It's a curry powder versus a curry paste. You would cheese the eggs yourself? Yeah, you could totally go for it. Yeah, let's see how this is gonna taste now. They're really hot, too. It's like steaming stuff. I took a huge bite. Why did I do that? It's good with spice, I will say that. If you guys wanted to spice it up a bit, really delicious. I'll show you what the curry powder is if you guys want to look for it. I don't have that much left. Leftover for tomorrow and like, yeah, the next day and the next day. I'm probably gonna eat this for breakfast to get my protein first thing. So this is what the curry powder looks like if you're gonna buy some. It's really yellow and fragrant, but it's never spicy. Nom. Have I made omu rice yet? I haven't. It's something that I would want to try made by someone else. Because once again, I'm very odd sometimes with eggs, especially runny eggs. And they're scrambled. That's what really throws me off of that dish. But the rest of it looks so good. Yeah, right? It's like, I'd rather have that made by someone else so it's actually made properly. Some of them aren't soft egg in the middle, then I'd be able to have that one. I gotta do a poutine stream. Did we do one not long ago? I forget. No, we did waffle fried nachos is what we did. No, we haven't done poutine actually in a while. Maybe when Sambo's home. Okay, guys. That was an awesome stream. Let's look for someone to go raid. Because I gotta get going to pack up and go pick up my friend. We'll go on an adventure. We learned a lot today, too. A cookie factory stream with Walter Melon? That sounds fun. Let's do that. Gluten-free chocolate chip cookies, vegan sticky toffee date bars. Okay. That all sounds delicious. Now that it's almost midnight, imagine. Wait, what just happened? Did he just ban him own self by accident? What just happened to Michael? Yes, he did, Kimmers. Not again. Did he try to post a link? Wait, he's subscribed though. Busted. Oh shit. Yeah, happy 420, guys. I haven't partaken in over a week. I just want to say that I'm really proud of myself. Walter Mellon, the raid is set up. He used bad language? I don't think he did. Stream Elements did it to him though on his own. You better watch out for them. Yeah, I'm detoxing. I am like in the clear now though. I'm through the hardest part. I think yesterday was my last tough day with that headache. Okay guys, let's go see Walter Mellon make his cookies. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I know that I inspired you, and I know that I taught you some new things that you can take away from. Definitely try this, because it is something different that I would never think to make, but really, really good. Like a pleasantly surprising dish. And those are always fun. So we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, and we are celebrating Cinco de Mayo. We are going to be making some chicken tortilla soup for that day. So I do have to soak some black beans for tomorrow as well. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for all your contributions to the stream today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!